Hey, this is Ashley with Ashley Creatives, coming to you to be able to help if you are a beginner at using reusable stencils. So these are some tips and tricks that I'm going to be able to give to you from all of my years of experience. Some things that you are going to need is going to be a makeup sponge. Not all makeup sponges are created equal. You can visit my Amazon affiliate link to be able to get the quality of sponges that I have. But if you have some makeup sponges at home, that is totally fine. You also could use a stencil brush. I prefer not to use them because I just don't like the finish. But a lot of people have a difficult time holding on to a sponge, and they do prefer that. So I always tell everybody it's your sign, your painting, your way. But you are going to need something to be able to stencil on the paint with. The next thing that I like to be able to use is tinfoil. And why do I use tinfoil? It's because it's cheap and you can get a lot of uses out of it. Your paint doesn't stick to it. It doesn't dry super quick to it, and you can reuse this over and over. I'm known to use a piece of tinfoil for a couple of days whenever I'm painting. Of course, you can use plates or a plastic palette, whatever it is that you would like to be able to use, but you are going to need a surface that you can sponge off the excess from your sponge onto. You're going to need a board. It doesn't matter if it's pine wood, like what we've talked in videos before, if it's MDF, it can be anything really. You can use a reusable stencil on pillows, on canvas bags, on metal buckets, or paper, or clothes, whatever it is that you want to be able to use a reusable stencil. But for this tutorial purpose here, we are going to be using a 1-inch pine piece of wood that is painted white. As you become to follow me, you will know that I am not a paint snob. As long as it's wet, that is all that matters. So you are going to need a board. You are going to need your reusable stencil. I like to use a 5mm Mylar with mine, but you can also get stencils in a 7 or a 10mm. If you're interested in our 5mm, you can visit our website at www.ashleycreatives.com, and we have all kinds of stencils there for you to be able to try out. You'll need your sponge and your tinfoil. Let's go. All right, let's get started in with painting our sign here. If you are a beginner, I do recommend getting some painter's tape and just being able to tape at the beginning of all of your corners as you are very first getting started. Once you become more comfortable, you're able just to kind of hold it into place with your hands as far as our smaller signs go. I still like to tape mine down if I'm doing a really large, like a subway style with a lot of different words kind of sign. I will still tape mine down in a couple of different places just to be able to hold into place. It is a myth that you need to put like a tacky residue on the back or be able to tape all over in all the different places. You do not need to do that if you have the correct paint technique. I am using just an apple barrel cheap craft paint here to be able to put mine on. And if you are a beginner, it is easier to kind of start out with white and do black because you don't have to use as many coats since black is your dominant color. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your sponge and with an excess of 10 times dabbing it off onto your tinfoil. You don't want your sponge to be fully loaded. And some of the mistakes that I see from people is they want to be able to take their sponge and be able to scrape it off like this as they are actually painting. You do not want to do that. Or they pound really, really hard thinking that they really have to, push that paint onto the board, and you do not. The next mistake that I see people make a lot of times whenever they're working with reusable stencils is they don't go fast enough. They like to take their sponge and go like this, and it starts lifting that stencil up off of there. So a nice steady, even pace and getting the excess off of your sponge are keys to doing a great quality sign. I'm going ahead and dip my paint into the sponge, get my excess off, and here we go. You want to just lightly go over. My members inside of the Creative Maker Movement, my painting membership, they tease me because I use it with my pinky up. They swear that it helps. So if that is something that is interested to you, then go on ahead and put your pinky up. Not for sure, but that's just the way that I have always stenciled, apparently. And that is how we stencil. The great part about reusable stencils is you can move them all around, use different words, and pair them with other reusable stencils. But as you see here, as you pull it up, we have no bleeding here with the reusable stencil, and we will be able to use this over and over again. Hopefully this helps. We'll see you soon. Cheers from my coffee cup to yours.